In today's video, Ilhan Omar's worst nightmare just hit Minnesota, and suddenly the power she thought was untouchable is hanging by a thread. Stay locked in, because what's unfolding right now is the consequences of letting fraud, waste, and abuse run so out of control that it sparked a massive federal crackdown right in her own backyard. And as always, best way you can show you support is by smashing that thumbs up. That tells me you like the video, and subscribe for more breakdowns like this.
Congresswoman, do you agree with President Trump's assumption that you married your brother to get citizenship? Have you begun packing your bags for Somalia yet, Congresswoman Omar?
Not going anywhere.
So you're not?
No, don't waste your energy on me.
Do you have a message for President Trump?
I will be here probably longer than Trump.
Wait, do you have a message for President Trump?
I'm like a quarter of his age.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say to
He's
him?
an old man losing his mind. I don't know why he's obsessed with me.
Interesting. Well, thank you, Congresswoman.
Yeah, I hope he gets help.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we got to talk about what's going on right now in Minnesota right now because of the nearly $1 billion fraud scheme that took place for years, and no one did anything to really stop it. Right now, you have almost nearly 80 people who have been charged, millions that have been stolen, fake meal sites, fake invoices, fake kids on fake lists. Everything was just a fraud. And all of this happened in the communities Ilhan Omar represents. While Tim Walz, and I want you guys just to remember this. This guy, less than, what was it now? Not less than, almost, a year ago now, just over a year ago, was running alongside Kamala Harris to become the president and the vice president of the United States. I mean, imagine if this guy would have been the second in command. I guarantee, I'm certain that this story right here would have been buried so deep that it would be a footnote instead of the main story right now. And so that's just another reason why we needed Trump to step in, because we're seeing things like this have the light shined on it.
Refugees who come here under the alleged plight of asylum and fleeing persecution, and then come to the United States to abuse our system and rip off American taxpayers. And as I pointed out, the New York Times, to their credit, it was about 6 months too late, but they did write about how Somali immigrants in Minnesota have been ripping off American taxpayers. In fact, 86 people have been charged in a rampant and widespread fraud scheme spanning multiple programs in Minnesota. Of those 86, 78 of those people are Somali, 91% of them charged. So far, 59 of those people have been convicted for their roles in fraud plots that have stolen $1 billion from taxpayers. In one scheme, and this is egregious, a nonprofit and its affiliates with these Somali migrants claimed to have fed tens of thousands of American children during the pandemic. They were reimbursed for those meals by taxpayers. However, federal prosecutors found that almost all of those meals were never even delivered to hungry children. In fact, those organizations' leaders spent the money on houses, luxury cars, and real estate in Turkey and Kenya. Another scheme involved hundreds of organizations who were reimbursed for services that were supposed to help people at risk of homelessness. Once again, those services were never provided. All of this has happened under Democrat leadership in a Democrat-run state, where these refugees, these migrants are coming to the United States. They are abusing our system. They are draining our resources that should be going to law-abiding, taxpayer-funded, tax-paying Americans. And this president is not going to put up with it anymore.
Yeah, so Ilhan Omar wants you to believe that this was just a few bad apples, but let's stop pretending. You don't steal nearly $500 million from the government with a few individuals. A scam this big requires coordination at every level. Parents falsely claiming their kids had autism for kickbacks, business owners sending in fake invoices for meals that were never served, and Democrat leaders looking the other way while the entire thing happened. In fact, reports say Tim Walz's administration silenced whistleblowers who tried to warn them. Not ignored, silenced. That's why Democrats are in full-blown panic mode right now, because this scandal exposes exactly what leadership looks like under them: corruption, incompetence, and a willingness to abuse the system for political and personal gain. And now President Trump is fed up, and he didn't hold back. He let it be known. I'm not holding back on this one. I don't care if it's not politically correct. And so you already know the liberal media, they're going to try and take this and spin it as much as they can and say everything negative as much as they can about this. But I just want you guys to listen, because he didn't hold back, and for good reason. When you're talking about billions of taxpayer dollars that were allowed to just be stolen thanks to the Democrat leadership in Minnesota and basically a willful incompetence. Take a listen.
Minnesota and their fraud on visas and their programs, 50% of them are fraudulent, which means that wacko Governor Walz either is an idiot or he did it on purpose. And I think he's both, sir. He brought people in there illegally that never should have been in this country, said they were somebody that they're not. They said they were married to somebody who was their brother or somebody else. Fraudulent visa applications, signed up for government programs, took hundreds of billions of dollars from the taxpayers, and we're going to remove them and we're going to get our money back. And we're going to, this next year, make sure that we only put people in leadership positions in this country that love this country.
And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. President, has the Bureau offered to leave? Yes.
The president is pissed, and honestly, I don't blame him. You're talking about nearly $1 billion in taxpayer welfare money that was stolen. And some of that money was being funneled overseas to support terrorism. And all this happened under Democrat leadership. It happened because there was zero oversight, zero accountability, and a whole lot of people that were more interested in protecting their own political power than protecting American taxpayers. And so, yes, the frustration is valid. Anyone with common sense would be furious. And now that the scandal has blown wide open, the president is sending in federal agents. And of course, what do Minnesota leaders do? They start pretending like all of this is coming out of nowhere, including the same mayor who said things like this earlier this year. Take a listen.
I want to speak directly to people who are undocumented. We love you. We care about you. In the city of Minneapolis, we will stand up for you, and we will do anything in our power to help. Because you're not an alien in our city, you're a neighbor. Now, in Minneapolis, we have what is called a separation ordinance. And that separation ordinance states clearly that our city officials, our police officers and beyond, will not be gathering information showing who is and who is not documented. We do not ask the question with regard to immigration status, and because we haven't asked the question, we don't have any data to show documentation status in our city. Our police officers will not be cooperating with federal law enforcement around federal immigration law. We enforce state and local laws here in Minneapolis, and we will do so to the best of our ability. But as for cooperation with ICE, the answer is no.
That sounds like a criminal from another country. That sounds like paradise. Not going to ask any questions, not going to vet appropriately, not going to run any background. Just, hey, come on in. We accept you. You can be our neighbor. And it doesn't matter. You can even take advantage of our system for your benefit and funnel it back to your country. It's all good here in Minnesota. And so here's the Minneapolis mayor once again. This is him once he found out that federal agents were headed towards his city. Take a listen.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacob Frey. I'm the mayor of Minneapolis, and we are here to respond to a number of credible reports from several media outlets relaying that there are as many as 100 federal agents that will be deployed to the Twin Cities with a specific focus on targeting our Somali community. To our Somali community, we love you and we stand with you. That commitment is rock solid. Minneapolis is proud to be home to the largest Somali community in the entire country. They've been here for decades in many instances. They're entrepreneurs and fathers. They benefit both the culture and the economic resilience of our city. Targeting Somali people means that due process will be violated. Mistakes will be made. And let's be clear, it means that American citizens will be detained for no other reason than the fact that they look like they are Somali. I was talking to Mayor Carter about this just recently, and here's the thing. Our police officers are not ICE agents. They will not cooperate with ICE agents. But the presence of ICE agents doesn't suddenly make our police officers not police officers. That's what Mayor Carter said to me the other day, and he's exactly right. Our police officers have an obligation, first of all, not to enforce federal immigration law. That is not their job. I want our police officers keeping people safe. I want our police officers responding to violent crime. I want our police officers preventing homicides and carjackings and shootings from occurring in the first place. You know what I don't want them doing? I don't want our police officers spending a single second hunting the father down that just dropped his kids off at daycare, who's about to go and work a 12-hour shift, who happens to be from Mogadishu or who happens to be from Ecuador. That man makes our city a better place. That man is a valued resident of our city and someone who we're proud to have him call Minneapolis and/or St. Paul home.
Look, I'll say the same thing I said to other chiefs of police in sanctuary cities. Shame on you. I mean, your number one responsibility is the safety and security of your communities. And ICE is targeting criminals. Criminals. So for you not to partner with ICE to make your community safer is shameful. He ought to put his badge in the desk drawer and walk away because he stopped being a cop, become a politician. If a true law enforcement official would work with ICE, okay, look, I don't want to be an immigration officer. I'll leave that to you guys. But when we have an illegal alien public safety threat in the community, I want to be shoulder to shoulder with you. I want to help you make my community safer because the chief of police, that's my number one responsibility. If he wants to watch, stand aside, do it. But if you cross that line, Pam Bondi and her U.S. attorneys are waiting to prosecute anybody that impedes law enforcement, ICE law enforcement, Border Patrol law enforcement in doing their job. Zero tolerance for impeding ICE in their operations.
So here's the bottom line. You just heard me play the clip where the mayor admitted they don't even track the information on migrants. I want you to think about that. They literally are telling us we don't know who we're letting into our own city. And then surprise, 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 those same people turn around and exploit the incompetence of Democrat leadership and run one of the biggest welfare fraud schemes in American history. And so when that fraud gets exposed and when the president finally shines a microscope on the very community responsible for nearly $1 billion in stolen taxpayer money, don't get mad at him. You could have stopped it. You chose not to. And so now you deal with it. You can't expect extreme situations to be handled with kid gloves. The president is taking what some call extreme measures because Democrats allow an extreme disaster to grow in their own backyard. And now they want to pretend as if it's all uncalled for or unprovoked. Give me a break. The fraud was so massive, so coordinated, and so obvious. It's laughable to suggest Democrat leaders had no clue what was going on. Maybe they insulated themselves just enough to avoid getting caught. Who knows? We'll find out. But the idea that they were completely blindsided is freaking hilarious. And so don't get mad at the president. You asked for this. You let this system rot. And so now you're dealing with the consequences. But now I want to hear from you. Drop your comments down below. As always, best way you can show your support, smash that thumbs up. That tells me you like the video. And subscribe for more breakdowns like this.